The European Industrial Revolution began in the late 18th century. In 1776, with the construction and installation of a steam engine by James Watt on a reciprocating pump. This innovation and the use of steam energy to turn the pump shaft provided the basis for many developments in technology and the creation of tools, especially in the field of production. James Watt was born on the 19th of January of 1736 in Greenock, Scotland. He was the eldest child in a family of 5 children. His father was a shipbuilding contractor and his mother was from a distinguished and educated family. Because of his short stature and thinness as a child, his family decided to have his mother educate him at home rather than send him to school. Later, he attended Greenock Grammar School. There, he showed a talent for mathematics, while Latin and Greek failed to impress him, causing him to leave school. After leaving school, Watt worked in the workshops of his father's business, showing considerable skill in creating engineering models. After his father suffered from unsuccessful business ventures, Watt left Greenock to work as a mathematical instrument maker in Glasgow. When he was 18, Watt's mother died and his father's health began to fail. Watt traveled to London and was able to secure an apprenticeship as a builder for a year in 1756. Then returned to Scotland and settled in the great commercial city of Glasgow, intending to set up his own business. In 1759, one of Watt's friends named John Robison drew his attention to the use of steam power as a motive power. Watt decided to change the design of the engine that was then used to pump water in mines, known as the Newcomen engine, based on the idea of using steam pressure. For this purpose, he needed to design a suitable cylinder and piston. Finally, in 1776, the steam engine built by Watt and his colleague Matthew Boulton was installed on a reciprocating pump. These two people, who founded Boulton and Watt Company in 1775, 1 year before the steam engine, started to build and install more of this machine on other pumps after this success. James Watt is also the inventor of the power unit. Based on the concept of horsepower, which is equal to the power of a horse to move 550 pounds of load 1 foot in 1 second. And each horsepower is equal to 745.7 watts. Today, the power of all mechanical and electric motors and rotating machines is expressed in horsepower or watts. The invention of the steam engine as an efficient and powerful tool had a great impact on the progress and development of manufacturing industries and technology and engineering sciences, especially mechanical engineering. In fact, from this time, scientists realized that fluids such as water and its steam, as well as oil and the laws related to the pressure and temperature of liquid and gas fluids, can be used as a source of energy and driving force to move rotating wheels. It was from this time that sciences such as fluid physics, thermodynamics, as well as pneumatics and hydraulics began to make many advances. These developments continued at a faster pace in the 19th century, and at this time famous scientists such as George Cantor, George Boole, Bernard Riemann, Everest Galois, Lord Kelvin, James Clerk Maxwell, Max Planck and Marie Curie and many other scientists in mathematics and physics were introduced to the world. In fact, this period coincides with one of the most important discoveries in the history of science, namely quantum physics, which was introduced to the world of science by Max Planck with the publication of an article in December of 1900. Famous scientists also introduced themselves in chemistry and natural sciences during this period, such as Louis Pasteur, Auguste K. Coué, Dmitri Mendeleev and Alfred Nobel. In this period, the invention of dynamite by Alfred Nobel started a new era in chemistry in the direction of production, and widely used tools in the construction, mining and military industries. Dmitri Mendeleev, by proposing the periodic table of elements, introduced chemistry into a new period of research and investigation. But let us talk a little about the advances in medical science and pharmacy from the Renaissance to the beginning of the 20th century. The medical Renaissance, from around 1400 to 1700 CE, was a period of progress in European medical knowledge, with renewed interest in the ideas of the ancient Greek and Roman civilizations along with Persian medicine, following the translation into Latin of many works from these societies. Medical discoveries during the medical Renaissance are credited with paving the way for modern medicine. The medical Renaissance began in the early 16th century. Medical researchers continued their Renaissance-evoked practices into the late 17th century. Progress made during the medical Renaissance depended on several factors. Printed books based on movable type, adopted in Europe from the middle of the 15th century, allowed the diffusion of medical ideas and anatomical diagrams. Linacre, Erasmus, Leonicello, and Sylvius are among the list of the first scholars most credited for the starting of the medical Renaissance. These scientists can be mentioned among the significant contributors in this period: Leonardo da Vinci, Ambrose Pare, Andreas Vesalius, William Harvey, and Hieronymus Fabricius. In the 18th and 19th centuries, despite scientific advances and the development of factories and production, new challenges in terms of medical and health issues had arisen for the people. The emergence of diseases such as smallpox, tuberculosis, cholera, and influenza caused the death of many people in different regions every year. It was at this time that many scientists were thinking of researching in the direction of treatment or finding vaccines to immunize humans against these deadly diseases. In this way, some of them were successful, and in fact, their efforts, in addition to saving the lives of billions of people, became the basis for the research and efforts of many other scientists in the fields of medicine and pharmaceuticals, which are still ongoing. The most important of these cases are the discovery of the smallpox vaccine by Edward Jenner, the discovery of the tuberculosis bacillus by Robert Koch, the discovery of the rabies vaccine by Louis Pasteur, and the invention of penicillin by Alexander Fleming. Okay. Let us return here to the discussion of technological inventions. On 21th of February 1804, British mining engineer, inventor and explorer Richard Trevithick introduced the first full-scale railway steam locomotive in the Welsh mining town of Merthyr Tydfil. Also, in 1889, the world's first car was built and introduced by Karl Benz, the car that we know today as Mercedes-Benz. Also, in 1839, a photographic camera was made in France. In fact, there are so many inventions and scientific discoveries in the 19th century that if we want to explain all of them, we have to present a video with a time of several hours. All human inventions and developments in the 19th century laid the groundwork for man's entry into the 20th century, and in fact, the era of prosperity and scientific and industrial competition. The era when humanity started the era of scientific modernism by discovering the flow of electricity, splitting the atom, going to space and inventing the computer, which will be the subject of our next video.
Its speed now 320 miles per hour.
Leave us your comments and like this video if you like it. Subscribe to our channel to know the history of science and the latest scientific news. Thank you for being with us.